Yeah, I think that's better. Okay. Hello, Mrs. Ha.
Yes.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Okay. Can you see me okay?
Yes.
Okay. The lights in this room are a little bit strange. So I'm just trying to...
A little bit dark, like in the
A
movie.
little bit dark. Yes, like I'm in a movie. A horror movie. A ghost movie.
Yeah.
Okay. I think, is that okay or not?
Yeah.
Can you see me? You can see me enough?
Yes, of course.
Okay, that's the main thing. Okay, who have we got today? Hello, Michael.
Hello.
Hello, Michael. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you fine.
Good.
Fine.
That's good. Can you all turn your cameras on, please? Hello, Kian.
Hello. Can you hear
Hello,
me?
Kian. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you.
Good. Hello, Duk. How are you?
I'm fine.
Good. I can see you and hear you fine. That's great. Hello, Tone.
All right.
Hi. Hello, Paula.
Hi.
Hi. Hakan. Hello, Hakan.
Hello.
Hello. Can you hear me, Hakan?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Good. That's good. I can hear you fine. Hello, Nok.
Hello.
Hello, Nok. How are you?
I'm okay.
Good. All right. Just seeing how many we've got this afternoon. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Who's missing? Zung Ha. Haven't seen Zung Ha yet. Hello, Zung Ha. Are you there?
Not yet.
Not yet. But we have everyone else. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, everyone. Does anyone have any questions for me before we start? No? Okay. All right, I'll start to share this evening's lesson with you. I'm in a different room, which is why maybe I look a bit different on your screens this afternoon. In fact, I'm in a different city, which is actually south of where I usually live, which in New Zealand, if you go south, it usually means it should be colder, but it's actually been hotter here today where I am, which is a little bit unusual. So the weather's doing funny things. Okay, so this is what we're going to do for our lesson this afternoon. So first of all, we'll do our warm-up, we'll do our idiomatic expressions as we usually do. Then we're going to do part 2 of phrasal verbs, and I'm going to get you to do some writing for me. We might get onto the speaking if we have time, but probably not. I think by the time we've done the writing and gone through the test, and I've corrected all of that, that will probably be all of the lesson for this afternoon. So I think it's important to keep going with these phrasal verbs because the more familiar you become with them, the easier you will find it to write answers to questions. Because once you become familiar with these phrases or chunks of vocabulary, as I think I talked about last week, you don't have to think about each individual word so much. You can just write down a phrase instead and think in phrases rather than think in individual words. I hope that makes sense. So first of all, we'll start with our speaking test warm-up. Michael. Hello, Michael.
Hello.
Hello, Michael. So this afternoon, we're going to talk a little bit about mobile phones. I want you to give me 2 sentences, please, Michael. When did you get your first mobile phone? When?
I first get my mobile phone in the 5th class, which I was learning before going to mid school, right?
Okay, so you would say, I got my first mobile phone. I got my first mobile phone when I was in, what did you say, 5th grade?
Yeah, 5th grade.
5th grade, okay. I got my first mobile phone when I was in 5th grade. That's how to say it. Knock.
I'm here.
Okay, Knock. At what age do you think someone should get their first mobile phone? At what age?
Well, actually, in my view, people people can get their first mobile phone when they are 10 or 12 years old, because that's the age that teenagers need mobile phone to keep contact with their loved ones and their friends.
Okay, very good answer, Nok. Excellent answer. Good English. Okay, Kian.
Ngọc Hà is
Kian.
coming.
Yes.
Sorry, did you say Zung Ha is coming, Mrs.
Yeah,
Ha?
yes.
Okay, thank you. Kian, do you feel mobile phones are too common in today's society?
Yes, I do feel, because whenever I go, and whoever I met, they always have one in their pocket.
Okay, good answer. Again, good English, Kian. Very good. Hakan. Hello, Hakan.
Hello.
Hello, Hakan. Where you heard Kian say that wherever he goes, people have mobile phones. Where do you think good places might be to ban the use of mobile phones?
Well, I think the best place to use that's maybe in the airport, because in that place we have free Wi-Fi.
Okay, to ban the use. What I'm thinking about though is for people, when people are talking on mobile phones, sometimes they
Oh.
can be very irritating, very annoying. So what are one or two places you can think of where people shouldn't be allowed to use a mobile phone?
Well, they can use, well, in my opinion, I think that they can use in
Or where should they be banned? What sort of places should they be banned, do you think? As in, you
yeah, I
can't
just think
use a
that
mobile
it's
phone.
just a quiet place, but they cannot talk in the library because
Yeah, good.
that place they cannot talk.
Yeah,
right?
good answer. All right, thank you, Hakan. Let me see now, Paula.
Oh yeah.
Okay, Paula. How can we stop people using mobile phones so much, do you think?
We can keep them away when we are working or studying.
Okay, so you can, for example, if you're in the classroom, you think
Yeah,
maybe
you shouldn't use the phone, or you shouldn't
Okay.
just bring it at school.
Okay, good answer. Okay, Duk.
Yes.
Yes, Duk, how old were you when you got your first mobile phone?
I got my first mobile phone when I was 12.
Okay. Do you think children should be allowed to use mobile phones in the classroom?
Uh,
What do you think?
I
Hello?
think it depends on what exercise they are doing.
Okay, so for example, you think they should be allowed to use them if they are doing schoolwork, but not to chat to their friends, for example.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Hello, Zung Ha, how are you?
Hi.
Hi, welcome to class, Zung Ha. At what age, Zung Ha, do you think children should be allowed to have a mobile phone?
In my opinion, I think from 15, children can allow to use mobile phone.
Oh, 15, that's very old, 15, that's quite old. How old were you when you got your first mobile phone, Zung Ha?
I got my first mobile phone when I was 12.
12, okay, but you think maybe that's too young now, that you were too young?
Yes,
Okay, why do you think you were too young?
because I think that I didn't know much about the internet, so I I may read something not good for me.
Okay, I might read something
I
that
might
isn't good
read-
for me. I might read something that isn't good for me. Okay, I might read something that isn't good for me. Okay, but good answers, Ung Ha. Okay, thank you everyone for doing the warm-up exercise. And as some of you did, I think it's a good idea to start to answer these questions by saying, I think, or in my opinion. Okay, I think, or in my opinion, is a good way to start your answer for these sorts of questions. Okay, let's get on to the idiomatic expressions. Michael, can you read the first one for me, please?
Yes, piece of cake, something that is very easy and simple to do. Example, running 100 meters in 15 seconds is a piece of cake. Anyone can do it.
Okay, good reading, Michael. Can you, do you think, by the way, can you run 100 meters in 15 seconds?
Yeah, it's pretty easy.
I think so. It's pretty easy. It's pretty easy. Even maybe your grandmother could do it. Maybe. Okay. All right. Next one, please. Knock.
Poker face. Someone with a poker face doesn't show any emotion or reaction, so that people don't know what they are feeling.
Okay, so this comes from the game of poker, which I'm sure most of you have probably heard of. Poker is a card game, and people gamble money on poker. It's very common. Is poker popular in Vietnam, Knock?
Yeah, I think they are quite, I think it's
Okay.
quite popular.
Okay, I think it's popular all over the world. And the idea, of course, is that if you, a poker face is that the sort of face you put on when you don't want someone to think you have got good cards or bad cards. You have to keep your expression very neutral. Okay, so people can't tell from looking at your face whether you are happy or whether you are sad at the cards that you have in your hand. Does that make sense, Nock?
Yes.
Okay, good. So that was what a poker face is, a poker face. So if someone has a poker face, it means you can't tell from looking at their face what they are thinking. Okay, Kian, the first R one, please, Kian.
Read between the lines. To read hidden meanings in something, for example, I got a letter from Robin, which made me worry. She didn't say anything, but I could tell by reading between the lines that something's wrong. That is, when you read between the lines, you try to understand what someone implies, but doesn't openly state.
Okay, good. Very good reading, Kian. Do you understand what reading between the lines means, Kian, after reading that?
I kind of understand.
Yeah, it's where you are looking for the real meaning behind what someone might be saying or what someone has written. Sometimes people don't always say exactly what they mean when they are talking to you or even when they are writing to you. So the expression to read between the lines means to try and work out how they are really feeling about something. Okay, so it means you listen to their words or you read their words, but maybe you are not completely sure that is what they are really feeling or meaning to say. So you try to read between the lines. Okay, read between the lines to try and work out what they really might be saying or feeling. Does that make more sense now, Kian?
Oh, yes.
Okay, good. Okay, Hakan, please.
Red rain on your parade. If
Yes.
someone rains on your parade, they ruin your pleasure or your plans for something. Example, I'm sorry to rain on your parade, but we need to cancel your birthday party.
Okay. Do you know what a parade is, Hakan? A parade.
Parade is same like a heaven, right?
Sorry, in heaven. A parade.
The parade.
A parade means sort of like having a
Yeah, I know.
celebration
Happy time,
in the
right?
street.
A happy
in the
time, right?
A happy time, yeah. A happy time, usually in the street. Okay. For example, maybe when I don't know, Manchester United win the Premier League. Okay, they will have a parade in the city of Manchester where the team can walk down the street and everyone can clap and cheer and congratulate them. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Okay, so that is a parade. So if someone rains on your parade, it means to spoil the party. Okay, it means to spoil the party.
Okay.
Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah.
So yeah, so if you are having a parade outside and it rains, of course, you know, people get wet and it's not so much fun. So that's what the expression means. If someone rains on your parade, it means they are spoiling your fun about something, all right? Or they are canceling the fun you are trying to have. Okay, Paula, next one, please. Paula.
A recipe for disaster. A recipe for disaster is a mix of people and events that could result in trouble. For example, don't lend him any money, he will gamble it all away. It would be a recipe for financial disaster.
Okay, good reading, Paula. I think this should be fairly obvious to everyone what this means. Recipe for disaster is just means something that someone is going to do and you know it is going to turn out bad for him or her. It's going to go wrong. You know right from the start. And so the idiomatic expression for that is recipe for disaster. Okay. Where are we up to now? Duk, please. Duk.
Red carpet. If you give someone the red carpet treatment, you give them a special welcome to show that you think they are important.
Okay, good reading, Duk. So I guess you might have seen maybe sometimes on TV or in films when somebody important sometimes arrives in a city or at an event, they have a red carpet on the ground to welcome them. The people walk on the red carpet to show that this is a very important person. So if you give someone the red carpet treatment, okay, you are giving them a special welcome. To roll out the red carpet means to give someone a special welcome. Can be anyone. They don't have to be someone famous, all right? Just maybe if someone in your family, maybe one of your grandparents is celebrating a special birthday, maybe they have reached the age of 100, they will get the red carpet treatment. Means everyone will treat them like they are very important. Does that make sense, Doc?
Yeah.
Great. Okay, Zung Ha. Zung Ha, please.
Red letter day. A red letter day is a one of good luck or good fortune when something special happens to you.
Okay, I'm guessing, I haven't looked this up, I'm guessing maybe this is Chinese in origin. Okay, red letter, okay, usually means something, good luck or good fortune is going to happen to you. And by letter, I don't mean letter of the alphabet, of course, I mean letter as in a note or a message someone has written to you, a letter. Red letter day. Okay, Michael, last one for you, please. Michael.
Rub shoulders. You rub shoulders with people you meet and spend time with them. Example, when she went to Singapore, she got to rub shoulders with some famous people.
Okay. Again, this one is fairly easy. If you rub shoulders with someone, it's just a colloquial expression meaning you get to meet someone. Usually it's more than one person. It's like when you are in a crowd of people, you often, touch shoulders with each other because you are all close together in a crowd. So to rub shoulders with lots of people just means to meet lots of people. Any questions from anyone about any of those? Okay, again, good reading, everybody. You're reading very well. Piece of cake. I had a piece of cake just before, a piece of chocolate cake, very delicious, with cream and strawberries and little bits of chocolate all sprinkled on top. But now I feel very fat. Okay, so piece of cake is not always a good thing. All right, let's look at the phrasal verbs. All right, so I've organized these phrasal verbs into 3 different categories. All right, the first one is the sort of phrasal verbs you might use at the beginning of an essay. All right, the second are phrasal verbs you can use when you are changing topics in an essay, or you are going on to make another point or another example. And the last one we're going to look at is when you conclude or finish an essay, the sort of phrasal verbs you might use for this. Okay, knock, please. Knock.
Yes.
Okay, can you read the first sentence for me, please?
I will start off by outlining recent research into primary education in inner city areas. Begin.
Okay. Begin. Okay, so in this case, start off by, the phrasal verb start off by means to begin. I will begin by outlining recent research. I will start off by outlining recent research. So these phrasal verbs are always that you can start off the introduction, the first paragraph to any essay you are going to write on any subject. Kian, please. Kian, the second sentence.
Okay. The first section set out the main points which will be covered in this essay, explained in an organized way.
Okay, thank you, Kian. Sets out, the phrasal verb sets out means explains in an organized way. So both these phrasal verbs are excellent ways of starting off any essay, as I say, on any topic that you are writing about. I will start off by. The first section sets out, okay, explains the main points. Now, this is my tip for you. Starts off by is always followed by a word that ends in ing or ing. Okay, start off by is always followed by a word that ends in ing. For example, this report will start off by classifying the main features of the region. I would like to start off this talk by explaining to you about phrasal verbs. Let's start off this lesson by reading something. Okay, so start off by is always followed by a word which ends in ing, ing. So that's very useful to remember. Again, automatically, you can think of the correct form of the word. All right, start off by is always followed by a word that ends in ing. Reading, beginning, thinking, whatever word you like to use, but it always has the ing form of the word. Okay. Changing topics or referencing. All right, so this is when you get partway through an essay, okay, and you want to start another sentence, you want to start another paragraph, you want to introduce a different topic. Hakan, please, can you read the first sentence?
Moving on, it is important to consider other aspects of this topic, continuing to the next point.
Okay, so this is what moving on means. Moving on means we're going to continue to the next point or the next idea. Moving on, okay, is a good way of changing topic or starting a new paragraph or a new sentence where you want to introduce a different idea or a new idea. Moving on, it's important to consider other aspects of this topic. Okay, next one, please, Paula.
Turning to another effect of climate change, you have clear evidence to show that sea levels have risen in recent years.
Okay, turning to means changing the topic. Turning to means you change the topic. Okay, so turning to and moving on, okay, are similar phrasal verbs that you use when you want to change the subject or introduce a new idea. Duk, can you read the next one, please?
I would also like to touch on a research study led by Whiteley and Proctor from 2014.
Right, okay, so touch on means you are going to mention something briefly, okay? Means you are just going to give a short explanation about something. I would also like to touch on a research study led by Whiteley and Proctor 2014 or 2014. Okay, so touch on is a phrasal verb that means you're just going to mention something briefly. All right, now these words can all be used, by the way, in academic essays. Okay, these are all useful phrasal verbs to use in your essays. Zung Ha, please.
Yes, to come back to the previous point about air pollution, it is important to understand that there are a number of factors that contribute to the problem. Refer back to
Okay, so syn is short for synonym. Okay.
a synonym, go back
Yes,
to.
go back to. Okay, so come back to or go back to mean the same thing. Okay, and both of them mean refer back to come back to the previous point, to go back to the previous point, to refer back to the previous point. Phrasal verbs that all mean exactly the same thing. To come back to the previous point I made about air pollution, okay, means just to go back to something that you've already written about. Okay, Michael, please.
Yes.
Okay, we're up to follow up, Michael.
To follow up on a point mentioned in the first section, the long-term impact of a healthy diet is often forgotten. Give more information related to something mentioned.
All right, so to follow up on, the phrasal verb to follow up on. And remember, by the way, phrasal verbs can be 3 words. Don't always have to be 2. They can be 3 words. To follow up on a point means to give more information relating to something that you have written about earlier. To follow up on means to give more information. Okay, Knock, please. Knock.
I'm here.
Yes.
So I'm going to read the next sentence.
Yes, the next sentence, please, Knock.
This picks up on a point raised by Dr. Cohen's research. Connects to, gives more attention to.
Okay, good. Thank you, Knock. So picks up on means connects to, means something that connects to something else or gives more attention to something else. I want to pick up on a point raised by research. I want to pick up on a point. Pick up on means what I'm about to say connects to something that I've already mentioned. Pick up on just means you give more information about something that you might have already written about or already mentioned. This information picks up on a point that I made in the first paragraph. All right, thank you, Nock. Kian.
Yes. In this session, we will explore the main arguments relating to the government's new pension scheme connected to.
Okay, so relating to and connected to mean the same. Relating to. In this section, we will explore the main arguments relating to the government's new pension scheme, about the government's new pension scheme, or connected to the government's new pension scheme. And the next one, please. Hakan.
Hello.
Yes, hello, Hakan. Can you read the next sentence, please?
What is next one?
Okay.
Sorry, just lag.
Okay, have to pay attention. Thank you. The professor. The professor.
The professor has based on his theory on the result of two large research projects. Uses idea or information as a start for something else.
Okay, so with this one, you will notice the phrasal verb is separated by two other words. So based on is the phrasal verb, but in the middle of the verb is his theory, the two words his theory. The professor has based his theory on the results of two large research projects, okay, which means the professor has used ideas or information as a start for something else. The professor has based his theory on the results of two large research projects. Okay, who's next? Paula.
Yep.
Okay, Paula, next sentence, please.
In his research, Dr. Bruckner.
Yes.
Bruckner goes on to suggest that his behavior is not unusual. Continues.
Okay, so goes on means the same as continues. Dr. Bruckner, good pronunciation, by the way, Paula. That's exactly what it says. Dr. Bruckner continues to suggest, goes on. Okay, so goes on is a very useful phrasal verb. All right. When you want to continue to talk or write about something you have already mentioned. In his research, Dr. Bruckner goes on to suggest that this behavior is not unusual. Duck, please. Duck, next sentence.
In this section, I have drawn mainly on the findings of Smith and Jones 2016 used information to help you do something.
Good reading, Duck. In this section, I've drawn mainly on, and again, this is a phrasal verb which has another word inserted between the two words that make up the phrasal verb. In this section, I've drawn mainly on the findings of Smith and Jones. So in this case, drawn means nothing to do with drawing a picture, although it is a little bit like that. Okay, in this case, you are drawing on information, all right, to make a new idea or word picture. So it is a little bit related to drawing a picture. I've drawn on the findings. I've drawn on the research. I've drawn on my reading of other information, or I've drawn on speaking to other people, means I have used information, all right, to tell you about what I'm going to tell you in this next sentence. To draw on something means to use information that is already available. I've drawn on this to make a conclusion. All right, Zung Ha.
Yes.
Next sentence,
It
please.
is important to point out that the computer simulation are not 100% accurate in passes.
Okay, the word here is emphasize. Okay, because it's got the E on the end, Zung Ha. Okay, it becomes emphasize. It would, if it didn't have the E on the end, it would be emphasis. But because it's got the E on the end, the word becomes emphasize. And emphasize just means to point out or to stress something. I would like to stress that the computer simulations are not 100% accurate. I would like to emphasize or point out that this is not 100% accurate. Okay, thank you, Zung Ha. Michael. Hello, Michael.
Yes.
Okay, next sentence.
In this section, I want to focus on the economic situation at that time, give a lot of attention to.
Okay, I'm sure this is one you are all familiar with. Focus. I want to focus on. This phrasal verb just means I want to give attention to this particular point or this particular subject. Focus on. All right, and the last one of these, knock. Knock.
I'm here.
Yes, knock. Next sentence, please.
I believe that this factor accounts for many of the negative survey responses. Explained is the reason for.
Okay, thank you, Knock. So accounts for is another way of saying explains. I believe that this factor explains many of the negative survey responses. I believe this factor is the reason for many of the negative survey responses. I believe that this factor accounts for, okay, accounts for, very common academic phrasal verb, accounts for, which just means to explain, or this is the reason why. Okay, the phrasal verb is accounts for. Okay, so these were all phrasal verbs that you use to change topics or you use to reference something else that you might have already written about. And at the end of your essay, you might start off your last paragraph or your last sentence with one of these phrasal verbs. Okay, Kian. Kian.
Yes.
Okay, the first one, please.
To sum up, the key finding from this analysis is that the positive impact on the student lasts for at least 5 years. Summarize and conclude.
Good reading, Kian. Okay, so to sum up means to summarize or to conclude, okay, which is a great way. All three of those are great ways to start the last sentence of your conclusions. To sum up, okay, the key finding from this analysis, to summarize what I've just been writing about, the key finding, the main finding is this. Okay, thank you, Kian. Hakan. Hakan, please.
Next one, right?
Yes.
In conclusion, I want to draw together the result from the 3 research studies.
Okay, and draw together in this instance means to collect. So again, the word draw is nothing to do with drawing a picture. In this case, draw together just means to collect, to gather together, to put together all the results from the research studies that I've been writing about. I want to draw together. I want to put together the results from the 3 research studies because they all mean the same thing. Okay, that's the sort of thing you might say in a conclusion sentence. Thank you, Hakan. Paula.
Yep.
Okay, Paula, next sentence, please.
In conclusion, I want to draw together the results from the pre-research studies.
We've already had that one, Paula. Next
in this
one.
section,
Yes, in this section.
I would like to bring together the results from the 3 research studies.
Okay, and again, yes, like the previous sentence, it just means to collect, means to put together. I would like to bring together the results from the 3 research studies. Okay, Zung Ha. Sorry, Duk.
Yes.
Yes, last one, please.
Following these arguments, we arrive at a clear conclusion. Which result synonyms to
come to. We arrive at, or we come to a clear conclusion. Okay, following these arguments, which I have just made, we arrive at a clear conclusion, or we reach a result. We come to a clear conclusion. Okay, thank you, Duk. Now, my next tip for you, in academic writing, go on to is also often followed by the words say or argue or describe. And here's my example sentence. I will then go on to describe the main criteria used to evaluate the results. I will then go on to say that the earth is round. I will then go on to argue that teenagers shouldn't be allowed to use mobile phones. Okay, so the phrasal verb go on to is often followed by words like say or argue or describe. All right, so if you remember these 3 words, then you know that you can use them to follow the phrasal verb go on to. I will go on to say, I will go on to argue, I will go on to describe. Okay, so those words often go with the phrasal verb go on to. All right, so in summary, what we've done is we've looked at phrasal verbs to help you at the beginning of your essay. We've looked at phrasal verbs that you can use partway through your essay if you want to change topics, okay, or you want to refer to something else, such as to follow up on a point I mentioned in the first section. This picks up a point I mentioned earlier, okay, and these are phrasal verbs that you can use at the end of your essay to sum up. I want to draw together. I want to bring together. Or we now arrive at a clear conclusion. Okay. So that should have prepared you for this afternoon's test. So we're going to do the test and then we will have a short break. Okay. So I'll just give you a moment or two to look at each of these sentences and choose the correct word to fit in the gap, or the correct word to complete the phrasal verb in each of these sentences. Okay, Zung Ha, I'm going to start with you.
Yes.
Can you do number 1? Can you read the sentence and put in the correct word, please, Zung Ha?
The first part start out the main arguments against a centralized system.
Okay, it's not starts, Zung Ha. It's not starts. Which one do you think it is then?
Touch out.
No. Okay, which only leaves one. Sets. Okay, in this sentence, it is always sets out. Okay, so sets out, Zung Ha, a very common phrasal verb. These words often go together. Sets out. The first part sets out. In another sentence, starts out might be used, okay? But in a sentence like this, that is structured like this, it's always sets out, okay? The first part sets out the main arguments. The first part sets out. It means to lay out the main arguments, to show the main argument. The first part sets out. Starts out, you would use in a slightly different way. So sets out is the correct answer to number 1. Michael, number 2, please.
These results are based on a sample of 500 full-time employees.
Correct, Michael. Okay, based on. Okay, so you will never see arrived on, hardly ever see set on. Okay, so the common phrasal verb is based on. These two words, based and on, go together very often. Thank you, Michael. Knock, number 3.
This turns back to an earlier point about privatization.
Correct. Well done, Knock. Privatization is the correct pronunciation. By the way, privatization means to take something that is owned by the government, okay, and to give it to a private company. That's what privatization means. Privatization means to take a company or an organization usually owned by the government and give it to a private company. That is privatization, but it is not turns, Knock, okay? It is not turns. Okay, so have another try, please, Knock.
Move.
No, okay, which only leaves one more.
Oh, it goes.
Goes, okay, goes back is the common phrasal verb, all right, goes back. Goes back. Turns back can be used sometimes, but not in this sort of sentence. Okay, not in this sort of sentence. This goes back. This goes back to an earlier point. Okay, it always goes back to an earlier point. Turns back means something slightly different and wouldn't be used in this sort of sentence. So it goes back. Okay. Kian.
Yes.
Number 4.
Okay, this section will bring together the most important similarities and difference between two products.
Okay, correct. This section will bring together. Okay, this was a slightly easier one. You will never see will relate together, and you will never see will base together. Okay, though that phrase doesn't make sense. It has to be will bring together. Will bring together is the common phrasal verb. Hakan, number 5.
In the introduction, I will set off, right?
No.
Yeah,
no.
no, I think that start off.
You're correct. Okay, please finish the sentence.
I will start off by explaining the general principles of his theory.
Correct. Okay, so it's always start off. Start off. I will start off. Again, you can have the phrasal verb set off, but that means something a little bit different. In this sort of sentence, you will always use the phrasal verb start off. In the introduction, I will start off. And remember, I use this as my tip in what we were looking at before. Start off is always followed by an ing word, a word that ends with ing. I will start off by explaining is the ing word in this case. I will start off by telling you. I will start off by reading to you. Always an ing word follows start off. Okay, Paula.
Yeah. In the last section, I will sum up the main points that I have discussed in this essay.
Very good, Paula. Sum up. Okay, that was one of the examples that I used before. I will sum up. Sum up is the common phrasal verb. I will sum up the main points means I will summarize the main points. I will tell you again the main points. Sum up. Okay, Duk, please. Duk. Number 7.
With respect to the second group of case, we arrive at a completely different conclusion.
Okay, very good, Doc. We arrive at a completely different conclusion. Okay, and in this sentence, if the words draw, we draw at, and we pick at do not make sense. Okay, so in this sort of sentence, you must use we arrive at. Okay, we arrive at a completely different conclusion. Okay, and the last one for you, Zung Ha.
In the next session, I would like to come to another region of the country, the south.
Okay, not come, Zung Ha, not come. Okay, what's your next choice, Zung Ha?
Bring.
No, okay, only leaves one more. Turn to. Okay, so the common phrasal verb in this sort of sentence is always turn to. Okay, come to is a phrasal verb, as is bring to, but not in this type of sentence. Okay, you would use come to or bring to in a slightly different sort of sentence. But in this sentence, the phrasal verb is always turn to. In this section, I would like to turn to the previous chapter. In the next section, I would like to turn to another part of the country. In this section, I would like to turn to another argument. Okay, so it is always turn to. So again, I will just quickly summarize these again, because these phrasal verbs are important in that these are words which very often go together. And as I say, it stops you having to think about each individual word, and instead you will just know the correct phrasal verb or combination of words to put into sentences like these. So again, to summarize, Michael, what is the missing word from number 1?
Missing word for the number 1 is sets.
Correct. The missing word for number 1 is sets. The first part sets out. Number 2, knock. What is the missing word?
It's based.
Correct. These results are based on. Kian, number 3, what is the missing word?
It goes back.
Excellent. This goes back. This goes back to an earlier point. Okay, Hakan, what is the missing word in number 4?
Bring together.
Correct. This section will bring together. Bring together is the phrasal, the common phrasal verb. Bring together. Number 5. Number 5. Hakan.
Me again?
Oh, sorry, Hakan. Sorry, Paula.
Me again?
Paula.
Yeah.
Yeah. Number 5, please. What is the missing word?
Remember, in an introduction, I will start off.
I will start off. Correct. Start is the missing one. So start off. Very common phrasal verb. I will start off. Okay. Thank you, Paula. Duk. Missing word, please, in number 6. What is the missing word?
The last section, I will sum up.
Correct. I will sum up the main points. Very good. Zung Ha, number 7, please. The missing word.
Arrive at.
I will arrive at. We arrive at a completely different conclusion. Correct. And last one, Michael.
Yeah, in the
Okay,
next section, I would like to I would like to turn to another
Correct.
regime.
Turn to.
country.
Very good. I would like to turn to. So the phrasal verb I would like to turn to is always the correct phrasal verb in this sort of sentence. Okay, thank you, everyone. So time for a short break now. Okay, so I'll give you a 2 or 3 minute break just to stretch your legs and have a glass of water or whatever, and I'll be back shortly. Thank you. Okay, everyone, welcome back. Hope you were able to stretch your legs. Very important, by the way, if you're sitting down for more than about 40 minutes or so, just to stand up sometimes, even when you're very busy, just to let the blood flow to your legs. Very important for your health, so I have heard. Okay, so the next part of our phrasal verb test and lesson is to find the mistakes in this paragraph, in this text. Okay, there are 6 mistakes with the phrasal verbs in this text. So please take a couple of minutes to read through this paragraph. I'm not going to ask you this time to read the paragraph. All I'm going to do, so I want to get on to the next part, is for you to tell me the 6 mistakes. Okay. Knock, please. Knock, I'm going to start with you.
I'm here.
Okay, Knock, what is the first mistake that you can see?
I think the first mistake is starts out. I think it should be sets out.
Excellent, Knock. It should be sets out. Correct. Okay, well done. Kian, what is
Yes.
the second mistake? Okay, the first mistake is starts out, should be sets
Okay.
out.
The second mistake is in the second sentence.
Yes,
The set off is must be start off.
it should be start. So set off is definitely wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
It must be start
Okay.
off by.
Okay. Start off. It could be start off. Actually, there are two offs there. Okay, so that's a mistake as well. But that's not one of the 6 mistakes, by the way. Okay, there should only be one off there. But yes, thank you, Kian. Set off is the wrong phrasal verb. Okay, Hakan, what is mistake number 3? Hello, Hakan.
Hello.
Yes, can you tell me what mistake number 3 is, please? Okay, the first one was in the first sentence, starts out. Okay, it shouldn't be starts out. The second one is in the second sentence. It shouldn't be set off, should not be set out.
Yeah, I'm thinking because I feel that there's no mistake.
Okay, there is a mistake in the third sentence. Can you tell me what it is, Sakan?
Yeah, I think I paid to do.
Okay, all right. Paula.
Turn to.
Yes. What should it be?
No, relate to.
Correct, Paula. Yes, well done. Okay, that was the tricky one, but well done, Paula. Okay, Hakan, can you see the mistake now? Okay, so Paula said, it should not be turned to, it should be relate to. So the sentence should be, I believe that the amount they are paid should relate to their skills and ability.
Oh.
Okay, which means the amount that someone is paid should be connected to their skills and ability. So turn to is not correct. Okay, Hakan?
Okay.
All right. The next sentence we're going to look at, Duk, please.
Maybe point to.
Yes, and what should it be?
I'm not sure. Maybe point off.
I'm just trying to, this is quite a common phrasal verb. These two words go together very often, okay? Actually, point to is also quite common, but it's not quite correct in this case. It should be point something else. Any idea, Duk?
Point off.
Not quite. Zung Ha.
Point off.
Close, not quite. Michael.
Point out.
Point out. Excellent, Michael. Well done. Point out. Point out. Very common phrasal verb. To point out something. I'm going to point out the mistake. Okay, I'm going to point out where we are going wrong. Point out is a very common phrasal verb. Thank you, Michael. Okay, Knock, what is the next one?
I'm here.
Yeah, what's the last mistake? Knock? In the
Focus
last
on.
sentence. Correct. Okay, so it's not focus to, focus on is the correct one. So again, I've written out the 6 mistakes here. So again, remember, why we are doing this, okay, is just to remind you how these words are paired together in common phrasal verbs. All right. So this essay sets out. I would like to start off. All right. Actually, there's one mistake I missed out by defining. All right. I missed that one because it's got define here. It actually, the correct, remember I said start off is always followed by an ing word. So it should be start off by defining. All right. And then as we also said, Paula said, relate to. Relate to is the common phrasal verb. Point out, focus on. All right. So again, sets out, starts off or start off, relate to, point out, focus on. All right. Which brings us to the last thing we're going to do this evening, a little bit of writing. Or the last thing we're going to do this afternoon, I should say. Okay. So, where did we get up to? Kian.
Yes.
Can you read the sentence, please? The first sentence.
Should mothers who stay at home to raise their families to be paid a salary to do this by the government?
Okay, so it's raise, Kian. Okay,
Oh, yeah,
who stay at home to raise their families, be paid the salary to do this by the government. Thank you, Kian. All right, so what you have to do now is to write a paragraph about this topic using some of the phrasal verbs that we've just reviewed this afternoon. See how many you can use. So here are the phrasal verbs, okay, that I've talked about this afternoon. These are the phrasal verbs, all common phrasal verbs that we've already discussed. I've done the first part of the paragraph for you. This essay sets out the main arguments about whether stay-at-home mothers should be paid by the government. So please write 2 or 3 more sentences. I'm going to send the link so you can click on it so you can write in the document and see how many of these phrasal verbs you can use in these 2 or 3 sentences. Okay, so I'm going to copy the link and I'm going to put it in the chat box. All right, as usual, if you click on the link, you will then be able to write in the document.
Teacher?
Yes.
So we are using your sentence to write?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
so correct. So please continue on from my sentence. So I've done the first sentence for you, all right, using the phrasal verb sets out. So please continue on with another sentence using I want another 2 or 3 sentences using these phrasal verbs, as many as you can, answering this question. So I need you to be a little bit creative with your arguments, okay? But the idea is to think of 1 or 2 sentences that you would write in the opening paragraph about this topic using some of these phrasal verbs. Because of course, I want to make sure that you are using them correctly. So even if you can do just one sentence, please, will be good. Okay, 1 more minute, everyone. Okay, let's get started. Kian, you're first, please. Don't worry about finishing your last sentence, please, Kian.
Yes.
Okay, can you please read what you have written? Just read from the very start, Kian.
Yes, this essay set out the main arguments about whether stay-at-home mothers should be paid by the government. I will start off by talking a little bit about the real situation. Many mothers also they are staying at home to care for their children or their family, and I can point out that the housework and the child care is not that easy as it seems to some people.
Okay, thanks, Kian. That's fine. They are your complete sentences. So which ones did you use, Kian? Which phrasal verbs? Start off, yeah, and point out. Okay, that's 2, Kian. Okay, very good. Okay, and your paragraph is all correct English, by the way, Kian. Excellent. I have nothing to change. Okay, that's good.
Okay. Can I finish the essay?
Yeah, if you like. Okay, if you like, but okay. I will keep talking to the others while you're doing that.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Tone, I've been missing you out. Sorry. I didn't realize you were there. Sorry, Tone. My mistake. Okay, Tone, can you read for me what you have written, please?
Okay. Must I read the first sentence?
Yeah. Yes. Read the first sentence.
This essay sets out the main arguments about whether stay-at-home mothers should be paid by the government. In my point of view, mothers should not earn a salary. I will start off by pointing out some main reasons. Firstly, they do not contribute to society like the others, so that would turn out to be an unfair relation. Secondly, I can point out that this could be followed by some problems, as many lazy and greedy women intentionally stay at home and earn salary.
Okay, Tone, that's very good. So what are your phrasal verbs? Let me see. Okay, which ones, Tone?
Start off.
Tell me, start off. Yeah.
What
else?
Pointing out.
By pointing out. I will start off by pointing. Yep. Okay. Anything else?
Turn out.
Turn out. Yes. So you've got 3.
Point out.
Okay. Yep. That's good. Okay. So the only thing I will correct, Tone, okay, is what you would, this should be, and this also is the same for you too, Kian, from my point of view. Okay. It should be from my point of view. If you are going to use the word point, if you don't use the word point, okay, you just say in my view, which is the same as saying in my opinion. Okay, does that make sense, Tone? So if you want to use the word point, you have to say from my point of view. If you don't want to use the word point, you just say in my view, which is the same as in my opinion. Okay, Tone?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Thank you. Okay, Paula, please. Hello, Paula.
Yeah.
Okay.
This essay sets out the main arguments about whether stay-at-home mothers should be paid by the government. To start off, I believe that either housewives or house husbands should receive a salary from the government. Despite the benefits of spending time taking care of the children, staying at home doing so may not be the best option for them, since they have to devote their lives to focus on doing household chores and raising their offspring, which is not an easy job at all. In addition,
Okay.
people tend to make an assumption about
Okay. Very good, Paula. So what are your phrasal verbs? What have you got? To start off is number one. What's the next one, Paula? What's your next one you've got?
focus on.
Focus on. Number two. What else have you got?
Yeah, I don't have any.
Don't have others. Okay. That's fine, Paula. That's fine. Okay. And all your English is correct, Paula. Thank you. Okay. I have no corrections to make. All right.
Right.
Okay. Interesting argument, by the way, Paul. You're the only person I think who's mentioned house husbands. Very good. All right. Who is next? Hakan.
The essay set as the main argument about whether stay-at-home mothers should be paid for the government. Mothers have to focus on taking care of their children, which is a difficult job, and they should have some money from the government. Although they only stay at home, and some people think that they are so disengaged, they still have a lot of things to do. Moving on to the next problem, which woman does not have a lot of money, and also their husband giving them a little money is a good thing that the government should do to help their family.
Okay, Hakan. Thank you for reading for me. So the first thing I will say is you pronounce this one is disengaged. Okay.
Yeah.
Disengaged. Disengaged. Although they only stay at home, some people think that they are so disengaged. That phrase is not quite correct. I think you would just say.
I just want to say that they stay at home and have nothing to do.
That's right. Some people. So that is what you should write. I can't. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Exactly that. Remember what I say about keep it simple. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That is exactly what you mean. So that is what you should write. Okay, because that makes more sense than what you have written here.
Okay.
Okay. And there's nothing wrong with what you just said to me. Okay. Some people think that they have nothing to do. That is fine. Okay. And that's a better way of expressing it than to say they are so disengaged. It's not quite right. All right. Moving on to the next problem. You would have a comma here. You would have a comma here, sorry. Okay.
Oh.
And you wouldn't have with. Oops. Out of the way. It's all right. I'll get you to correct it, please. Can you take the with out, please, Hakan?
Oh, wait. Me. Okay.
Can you delete the with? Yes, thank you. Moving on to the next problem. Women, you would have to say women sometimes do not have a lot of money.
Oh.
Okay, moving on to the next problem.
For some poor family.
Yes, so same thing, yeah. Okay, again, the same thing. It's probably an easier way of saying it than what you have written. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Giving them a little money is a good thing the government should do to help their family. Okay, so sorry, the phrasal verbs you've used focus on, haven't you? Any others?
And moving on.
Moving on. Excellent. Okay, that's 2. Well done. Thank you, Hakan. Okay, so again, just remember to keep it simple, Hakan. All right.
Okay.
Okay. If you if you can think it, just write down what you are thinking rather than trying to make it more complicated. All right.
Okay.
Okay. Like I always said before, it's better to write down something simple and make no mistakes than to try write something a bit more complicated and make a mistake, because then the examiner will just take marks off you.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, Michael, what have we got? Can you read for me, please, Michael?
Yeah. This, in my opinion, mother should be paid a salary to the amount of work they have to focus. However, many people think that mothers shouldn't have a salary because they don't contribute to society. That accounts for this argument. Moving on to the next reason why mothers should have a salary is because even though they don't contribute to the society, they still do off chores in the house.
Okay, so it's good to see you've used focus on, Michael. Okay, thank you. However, many people think that mothers shouldn't have a salary because they don't contribute to society. Okay, so you don't need this next phrase, Michael, all right? Okay, just have a full stop at the end of society. That's the end of that sentence. Okay, so you don't need that next phrase at all. That accounts for this argument. You can take out. Okay, you can delete that. Okay, and then moving on to the next reason why mothers should have a salary. I think you would take out next reason. Moving on to why mothers should have a salary. So you can take out again, you are making it more complicated than it needs to be. Okay, Michael?
Okay.
So moving on to why mothers should have a salary, okay, is correct. That is correct. All right, so the sentence that begins with however is now correct. Okay, Michael? However, many people think that mothers shouldn't have a salary because they don't contribute to society. Okay, that is a correct sentence. Moving on to why mothers should have a salary. Here you need to, again, you take some words out. Okay, you have written too many words, all right? So you can take out is because, all right? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I know.
Even though they don't contribute to society, they still do, and off can be deleted as well, okay? They still do chores. They still do chores is correct. You don't need off, all right?
Okay.
Okay, now it is correct. Thank you, Michael. Okay, okay, Duck. All right, so I see you lost your internet correction. Is that right, Duck?
Yes.
Okay. Personally, mothers should not be paid a salary regardless so much because they stay at home, raise a family. I'd like to point out this makes many mothers, in this case, this makes many mothers become lazy is the correct version of the word, okay, in the sentence. I'd like to point out that this makes many mothers become lazy. Okay, Doc? So not lazier. In this sentence, the correct form of the word would be lazy. Okay, Doc?
Okay.
Okay, so just change that there. Oh, go away. Okay, so this should become lazy. All right, knock. Sorry, I will just go quickly through this now. To start off, okay, some recent research needs to be points out. Okay, knock?
Yes.
Has to be points out. That mothers staying at home to raise their family are playing an active role educating their children. Moving on to another aspect. Okay, that's good. They often take the responsibility of doing jobs relating to gardening, taking care. You would just say gardening and taking care of other family members, full stop. All right? So you need to have an and in here. After gardening, taking care of other family members. In my view, the government should support these mothers by focusing on paying them a salary as a way to motivate them to keep devoting. And there is a word you need in here, knock. All right?
Yes.
Keep devoting what to their families? Can you think of a word that should go in here? You need a word in here to make this sentence make sense. Okay, I'm thinking of a very simple word, begins with T. Begins with T, knock. 4 letters. 4 letters. First letter is T. All right. Second letter is I. I. First letter is T. Second letter is I. Third letter is M. Third letter is M. Yes. Yes. Devoting time to their families. Okay. So if you put time in there, now that sentence will make sense. All right. And you've done very well doing the phrasal verbs to knock. Okay. That's good. So the rest of that paragraph is correct. Okay. Do we have anyone else in here? No, we don't. Zung Ha. Hello, Zung Ha.
Yes.
Did you do
Okay.
some writing? I can't see any of your writing.
Yeah, my computer got some problems, so I cannot push the file.
Okay. Okay. Will you be able to do some writing next week, Zung Ha?
Yes, next week I will do it.
Okay. All right. So I would like you to do these exercises, please, with the rest of the class so you can practice, all right, with everybody else. Okay. So everyone, that is the end of the lesson for this afternoon. Thank you, as always, for your concentration and for focusing on the task you needed to do. Does anyone have any questions for me? Any questions? No. Okay, so Knock, can you stay behind, please?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Knock. Everyone, can you turn your cameras on, please? So I can say something to finish off the class. Thank you, Michael. Everyone, can you turn your cameras on? Okay, Michael, what are you doing for the rest of today?
I'll probably practice on math
Right.
for the whole day today, and I'll do the rest of the homeworks too.
Okay, good luck with that. Hakan, what are you doing for the rest of today?
So I do my homework.
More homework as well. Okay, good luck to you too, Hakan. What about you, Kian?
Okay, thank you.
I will keep studying for the IELTS exam, and I
Okay.
still have one more extra class this night at the night.
Wow, very busy. All right, when is the IELTS exam, Kian?
Oh, I have big news is it got delayed again. Because
Delayed again.
yeah, Yeah, because on the day that I have register, they just said that it have technical issues, so it have delayed one day. So it's in on let me remember.
So what date? What date? Do you know? Do you know yet or not?
It's the 6th April.
Okay.
6th. Yeah.
April 6th. Okay. Another nearly 2 weeks. Okay. So you have more time to practice. Okay, Kian. Thank you. All right. Hello, Tone. Hello, Tone. Hello. Yeah. Sorry, I missed out you before, Tone. For some reason, I didn't see you on my screen. I'm sorry. All right. What are you doing for the rest of today, Tone?
I think I'm gonna sleep.
You're going to sleep.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fine. You need to have some rest sometime. Okay. Paula, what are you doing for the rest of today?
I have 2 more extra classes.
More extra classes.
2 more.
Okay.
2 more.
2 more. 2
Yeah.
more extra classes. Okay. Oh, your mum told me you got the tutoring job too, Paula. That's great. Congratulations.
I forgot to
Congratulations.
email you.
That's okay. I know you're busy. Don't worry. Congratulations, Paula.
Thank
Okay.
you for your help.
Oh, you're very welcome. All right. Hakan, I can't see you. Ah, there you are. Now I can. All right. It's all right. I'd already talked to you. That's fine. Okay. Knock. Hello, Knock.
Ngọc ơi,
Yes.
Ngọc chăm chỉ ơi, Ngọc có Năm chăm chỉ ơi.
Dạ.
Thấy hôm qua thầy còn khoe là 1 giờ đêm còn gửi bài cho thầy học.
Okay.
Sáng ấy thấy.
All right, Knock.
Vâng, cháu thức muộn.
Sáng ấy thấy thầy nhắn từ sáng sớm mà 1 giờ đêm qua con gửi bài cho thầy. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, please stay, Knock. Duck. Hello, Duck. I can't see you.
Okay.
Mình Đức.
My connection is lost again, so I cannot turn off.
You can't turn it on. You can't turn on the camera. Okay. All right, Duck. What are you doing for the rest of today?
I gonna just review for my physics test.
Physics test. Okay. Good luck with that. Zung Ha. Hello, Zung Ha.
Hi. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Zung Ha, but I can't see you.
Yeah, I'm using my mobile phone to join the class, so I cannot turn my camera on.
Oh, okay. Okay. Hard to do on your phone, Zung Ha. Very hard to do on your phone. I hope you can use your laptop next week.
Yeah, I will suggest to use my laptop next week.
Sure. Okay. What are you doing for the rest of today, Zung Ha?
I will have another extra class, and I will do my homework on next week.
Okay. All right. Again, you are very busy. Okay. So I hope you get a chance to rest sometime, Zung Ha. All right. Thank you, everyone. I'll let you go now. Sorry, we are finishing a little bit late. As always, please, if any of you have any questions, you are welcome to email me sometime. And you are also welcome, if you want to practice some writing, send it to me and I will correct it and send it back. All right. So please enjoy the rest of your day if you can. I hope the rest of your classes and your study goes well. And I look forward to seeing you next Sunday afternoon. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Goodbye, teacher. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Chào con. Thôi cô.
Goodbye, Rick. Thank you for your time.
Bye.
You're
Chào
welcome.
bye.
Bye.
Chào con.
Bye.
Bye bye nha.